Everyone, welcome to Lauren's Scraplot. My name is Lauren Urbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So I am delighted to share with you some projects this week featuring the Abundant Beauty decorative masks. So this package of masks, I've used most of them. They are found in our new holiday catalog. There is a set that has some beautiful snowflakes, some houndstooth. We have one of the folders with leaves, and then probably the most common folders that you've seen used from this set are those that feature some beautiful sunflowers. So I'm just going to give you guys a little hint that if you watch my videos every week, I will be featuring those sunflowers next week, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Look how pretty they are. Okay, that's it. That's all you get. I'm going to feature those next week on my Tuesday video at noon. But today I wanted to share with you a card that I actually did for my Scrappy Stampers team meeting this week. And my challenge to my team was to pick non-traditional colors to make a themed card. So they could pick Christmas as their theme and then pick something completely non-traditional like orange to make a card with that. Or I went with autumn, and instead of going with red and yellow and, you know, kind of all those typical hues of fall, I decided to go with pink and purple. So I wanted to share that card with you today. I did two different versions, and today, in fact, I might even do a third one. So it'll be kind of a live, see if it works on screen type scenario. But let me show you how these cards are done. Also, before we get started, I do want to share with you guys a fun little promotion that's going on right now. So today is Tuesday, October 11th, and I just want to let you know that today and tomorrow are free shipping days with Stampin' Up. So if you are in Canada and you have a wish list that's over $100, because free shipping is over $100, then you can go to my store. It's listed at the bottom of the page, and you can have your items shipped to your house absolutely free. If you are in Edmonton, and I know a lot of you are coming to my house tonight or tomorrow for monthly card class, then you guys can take advantage. We'll just share our shipping. So of course it will be over 100 because there'll be multiple people ordering. And as long as you pick your items up from my house, then you can still get that free shipping on your items as well. So keep that in mind if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I actually do have a wish list going. Maybe you want to pop online and get that ordered and save yourselves a few dollars. You can also order Paper Pumpkin prepaid subscriptions and save yourself on the shipping as well. That's a big deal. Also, I'm going to do another little plug. Just so you guys know, we have a really good starter kit option this month. So if, again, you have that large wish list, I do want to let you know that throughout the entire month of October, you can decide to join my team and take advantage of one of two major offerings with Stampin' Up. So the first offer is to get 35% off of the cost of our normal starter kit. So you're going to receive $165 worth of product, and you're going to pay only $87.75. And that is going to be an amazing deal. But if you want even more product, you can buy a starter kit for $135 and pick out $222.75. So I'm not going to take up a ton of time talking all about the benefits of joining my team, but if this is something that interests you, and if there's a little spark of you that's like, yeah, I want a good deal, I want to hear more about these no obligation starter kits, then just message me and I will give you all the information. You can also find it on my website, again, listed at the bottom, just under the little Join Now tab. So onto our cards. Okay, for today's project, we're just going to make one of these, and you're always going to need some sort of scrap when we're doing some messy blending like this. So I just use the chipboard from our designer series paper packs. I find it nice and sturdy, and it just makes life really easy for me. So if you'd like to follow along, I have cut a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock. And this is going to measure 5.5 by 8.5. And I've put a score mark down the middle here at 4 1/4. So this is the base of my card. I'm actually not using it right away, so we're gonna set it to the side, but we'll go ahead and cut all the other pieces that we do need. So on the inside of your card, you're going to want something to write on. So that is going to be a piece of either basic white or very vanilla. It's your choice, but I really like how the vanilla looks with that Lost Lagoon. So I went 4 by 5 1/4 for this little piece right here. You could go ahead and attach it inside right now, but I kind of thought maybe we'd want to do a little bit of leaf art on the bottom of it once we've got our blending brushes out, so I'm not going to attach it quite yet. Then the other two pieces, these are going to be the front of your card. You'll need a piece of basic white, and you can use very vanilla, but it might shade or change your hues a little bit. So this piece is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. And then this nice shadowed piece here, I'm using Starry Sky. It's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So get all your pieces cut and ready to go. And then we're gonna start our messy work with this white piece here. And that's also nice because you can tell the difference between your two size pieces. So you will need to gather some blending brushes. I like to have one blending brush per color that I'm using, just so I don't get anything mixed, but you could probably share if you needed to. And the colors that I'm choosing for today's project are Lost Lagoon, Starry Sky, Berry Burst, and Pecan Pie. So those are my 4 colors that I'm choosing, and I'm actually going to throw in my Memento too, just to try something that's kind of just in my head right now. It's not on the card you saw. So you need those 4 colors. We're going to start with our 3 background colors. So Lost Lagoon, Starry Sky, and Berry Burst. And we're going to just open that up, kind of like a makeup compact, slide it into place, and grab number 1 of our blending brushes. So these blending brushes, if you have never seen them before, they are just such a versatile tool. They come in a package of 3 for $18 plus shipping and tax here in Canada. If you're like me and you maybe want enough blending brushes sometimes to cover a full project, I do own 6 of them, and I find that is enough for me because for this project, for instance, I'm using 4, and then I don't need to worry about cleaning them in between, because to clean these, you do need to get them wet. You run them under cold water, and that will kind of help all the color bleed out of the bristles. The bristles might get dyed over time, especially if you're using a red or something like that, and that's also why I like to have 6. I try not to use like the yellow bristled one in with some of my dark reds, just in case I haven't cleaned it properly ever, then it's not going in a nice bright yellow ink pad. So I try to keep those colors kind of segregated to the specific brushes. But for these brushes, you can purchase these large headed ones, or there's really thin ones too. And that might give you a few different options. So for blending brushes, we're always going to go on a circular motion on our ink pad. That's going to pick up a nice amount of color. We're starting off of our paper, just kind of coloring onto this cardstock here, or the chipboard. And again, just using a circular motion is how we're going to apply our color. So you're just going to keep going in circles until you've covered about the top third of this piece of basic white. You can see the more you rub it, the better that will get blended in together. You won't have any weird lines. But the nice thing is these little bristles, they're not going to typically leave many lines for you either. Okay, so there we go. We've got all of our Blushing Bride up here at the top. Then we're going to move on to our next color, and I'm using Starry Sky for that next step. So circular motions again, starting off my page and coming straight into this middle section. Now don't be afraid to go over top of some of that Berry Burst, because you'll get a really nice blend of those shades. And in fact, this could be like a really nice sunset kind of shade if you've got the two together. There we go. I'm just going to mix those two. I'm going to fill this middle space in. And then last but not least, I'm going to bring in my Lost Lagoon and do the bottom section. So just so you know, it might be easier if you just flip your card over and work in the top. That's kind of what I like to do. So if you are watching live, feel free to say hi. Hopefully everything's working. If not, like some other times, I've just had to post the recording later because the live stream for some reason didn't work. But that's okay. Here we go. Lost Lagoon all over this bottom section. And again, I'm just going over top of some of that Starry Sky. So I mix it in. And we talked about these two colors being a perfect sunset. How perfect would these two be as kind of a winter scene? So if you use that snowflake embossing folder, I feel like you'd get a whole new scene by using these colors. So maybe I'll do that someday. All right, I'm going to close that up and we're going to move on to an optional step for you in here, okay? So I'm just gonna pull in one of these. Do you see how there's some fun little splatters in the background? So that is made using one of our aqua painters, just filled with water or rubbing alcohol. It's completely up to you. The rubbing alcohol dries a lot quicker than water does. So if you're using water, you might end up needing to grab your heat tool and just kind of let this dry or put this aside for a few minutes before moving on. So that's the two differences there. And you're noticing my pen is also blue. The pens that we have now are white. They come in a set of 3 with kind of 3 different bristle sizes. These guys were just the originals and they last forever. So I'm not one to throw out a good thing. I'm going to keep this. So if you want to add this little kind of speckled background, what you're going to do is fill this up with water and just squeeze it so that water comes down into your bristle tips. You can even make a pile of it. And then there should be water dripping from your brush, and you're just going to come over and start tapping that water over top of your paper. Okay, so I like to start with just a little bit. I never add a ton at once because it's far easier to add more of this than to take anything away. Okay, so just add as much as you like. Maybe kind of let this settle, see what starts popping out. And I would like just a tiny bit more down in this bottom section. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty happy because we do have other features of this card still. We're still going to add those decorative masks, so we don't really need to add any more than this. And I kind of think this is going to dry relatively quickly. So a couple fun things. This guy here, the colors that I did the leaves in were a combination of the Pecan Pie. I laid that down first, and then I just used a little bit of early espresso over top of some of the leaves to kind of darken them and give a few shades. But I was challenging my team to use non-traditional colors, so I figured brown might be cheating a little bit when I'm doing an autumn card. So I decided to pull in for this one, the Starry Sky, and I did purple leaves, which also looks gorgeous. And you can kind of see the difference in those shades. But for you guys, I also love a good old shadow look. So I'm gonna try with my black, my Memento Black. So it's gonna look very blatant that we've got black leaves hiding in there and then a kind of fun little background. So we'll see. We'll see what works and what doesn't, and we'll see which one we like the best in the end. Okay, so I'm gonna move this because I don't wanna get inky. And I have one brush that I used with dark navy at one point, but it's okay. You can use something darker on there too. So picking up color from my Memento Black, and we're going to start at the top and work our way down so that you have somewhere to hold on a nice clean decorative mask. So these decorative masks, just so you know, they're really easy to clean. You just run them under some cold water, and I just let mine air dry. If you're desperate and you need it right away, you can pat them dry with some towels or some paper towels, And if it's moved like this, just make sure you go back to your original spot before continuing on. So just go nice and slow, press right on top of the spaces that you want to put your color in. And if you're super worried, go ahead and tape this down. Like, you easily can add just a piece of double-sided tape under the white paper and then put some masking tape on the edge of your decorative mask. But I just figured it's easier for me to not have to peel that off in front of you guys. So hopefully this doesn't move. So laying down lots and lots of color, because we want those images to be very clear. This is probably the most labor intensive of your embossing folders because there's so many little parts. The sunflowers, if you're watching next week, they go by a lot quicker because those are big, easy to work with. But I hope you do follow along because they're really pretty. Okay, here we go. See, that's so fun. I love it. So it really doesn't matter what color you put on top. I could have done navy, I could have done something else random, but I just wanted to see how different these would look. Okay, so we've got this beautiful card set up here, and I'll bring that back in so we know kind of what we're working with. So step number 2 or 20, wherever we're at, we're going to grab the piece that we've just embossed and we're going to attach it on top of this starry sky. So you're using a flat adhesive, whether that's double-sided tape or glue or seal, totally up to you. And I have lost my tape. There you are. Messy, messy desk. There we go. We're going to attach these two together. Then if you have some linen thread or twine, we're going to add a little feature to your card here with those items. Turn this over. And which way is up? Go. Okay. So you can't add this to the card yet. You need to do your twine feature right now. Okay, so you're needing probably about 15 inches or so of twine. I always just leave mine on the roll and kind of work from there. So I'm going to just hold with my thumb a little tail. That's probably about 4 or 5 inches long. That's going to be what I bring over here to start tying a bow with. So you don't want to shortchange yourself. And then I just kind of move this across to an opposite corner, coming around, and I'm just making an X with my linen thread. You can wrap this as often or, try it again if you need to. But I'm just doing it 3 times to make kind of a fun little star pattern on the front. And then we're going to trim off some of this, this twine so that we can make a nice little bow. Okay, so I have 2 really nice long tails here. So what we're going to do is just kind of wiggle them over so they're resting, on the card itself. We want them to be beside our tag. You can either tie a knot first, or if you're brave, go ahead and tie a bow. It's completely up to you. And then just sit here and play with those little ends. See how long you want them to be. One option, if you're wanting of a nice uniform look, is just tuck one of your ends under and then tie a knot to hold this in place. That way your twine's not going to move on you and you'll get a lot sturdier of a bow. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to tie a knot so it's ready to go, and then I will tie a new bow. I didn't like that one. Bows are fun, right? Especially on camera. We'll get this eventually. Come here, buddy. There we go. Okay, so I need my scissors to just trim off that little bit right there. And this can now be attached to our card base. So you're going to flip that over, grab yourself some mini dimensionals, and we can pop this onto our card front. Card front. Now we'll finish off the card front and then we'll experiment with the inside. So for a little deco here, I decided, because there's actually not really a specific stamp set that goes with this set of decorative masks, I just pulled out my color and contour sentiments because they have a couple really nice sentiments for me to use on the card. You can grab anything you want. There's some beautiful sentiments in the holiday catalog. This one is from our annual catalog, but whatever works for you. Just grab a sentiment. I decided to do the thank you for everything, and I've cut myself the second largest of the Stylish Shapes dies, just in white. Again, you can use ivory though if you want to as well. And we're going to stamp our little sentiment either in black, pecan pie, early espresso, something, just to kind of make it stand out. I'm using pecan pie for this one. And this die you will want to pop up on dimensionals, but just put dimensionals under the top and the bottom sections. We don't want anything hitting your little linen thread, because then you'll get like this odd angle of a decal tilt. Okay. And that can just get tucked in on the side. Fix your bow around it. You make it smaller if you want to. There we go. Okay, to finish off the front, I just grabbed some of our adhesive backed sequins. These come in a set of 4 colors. There's gold, copper, I think white, and silver. And you can see I have them handy all the time because they're really easy to use, and it's a lot simpler than kind of digging out matching gems when I'm switching colors up. There we go. Okay, trimmed him. Now for the inside of our card. Okay, so the front looks great. I love it, and I actually think this black looks really neat, but I want something on the inside to write on. So that is where that lone little piece of Very Vanilla came in. You can see on my sample, I didn't do anything, but since we're on camera and it's kind of fun, let's play. So I'm going to grab my Lost Lagoon, and I'm just going to color bottom strip, kind of again about the bottom third with this color here. See if this looks good. Sometimes I just like to play. Okay, so there's the bottom. Then we're going to bring back that leaf mask that we had before, and we're only going to put it along this bottom section here, but we're going to color with the same color that you did on the front. So in my case was black. Let's add a little bit of color. This is going to be tricky. There's not a lot of finger room. There we go. Wiggle that in place. And be careful not to go over the edge, because that's really easy to do. All right. There we go. That looks really cute. And then you can add this to the inside of your card, and it just kind of looks like you've tied it all together. So it could be the top of your writing section, or it can be the bottom. I think I like it as the top. Whatever works for you. You could have even added other colors like the Berry Burst or Starry Sky as well. in you go. So cute. I like it. I like how that kind of ties the card together a little bit for whoever's receiving this. So there you go. You can decide whether you like the black or the starry sky or the pecan pie, or if there's something completely different that you want to try. It's kind of fun too. Maybe you want to try putting your speckles on after you've done the decorative masking, but I kind of wanted it to look very distinct, that the background was the blended area with speckles, and then the mask on top was very bold and deep. But I would be intrigued to see what it looks like if you just kind of sprinkled some water on at the end too. So I hope you enjoyed this week's projects. Do make sure to tune in every Tuesday because I either post a video or I'm live with you guys and you're able to see something fun that I'm playing on. So if you like and subscribe to the channel, you'll get notifications anytime that happens. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can leave a comment on the video, which I always appreciate, or you can message me through my website that's on the bottom. There's a little contact me area and I can answer anything you need. So I look forward to crafting with you guys again next week. Bye.